did today, it's a trust thing with the Iranian people. And what he said to those people was, you've got 2 weeks. Okay, I may or may not come in and take you out, basically. So what he does is give the warning around the rest of the world for our own citizens that we have in that country to get them out. Okay, that's it. You've got probably a week or 2 weeks to get them out. That was taken away from us. Not only was that taken away from us, he just took the trust away from the Iranian people. Okay, he told them 2 weeks. Right now they're on tender hooks. Right now they are very, very vulnerable citizens over there. And the last thing did we not learn anything from the Middle East?
What the world thought when he said, I'll give him 2 weeks and I might do something that breaks the law and all these things. You want to make sure that you got a really good reason instead of an Iraqi reason, right? Because we've been there before, and I think the world's meant to be getting smarter and not dumber when it comes to falling for old tricks and tactics. We're going to make sure we don't repeat what we were doing back then when we fell for it. Otherwise, we do it again. So when it comes to misleading information, secrets, people don't know people much, and all these kind of things. You can have secrets out there. You always will, always have. But when it comes to top leaders, I believe, and you want to be countries that sell with each other, communicate with each other, deal with each other, then you need to have these certain standard rules, right? Which is like world rules. And if you have these standard things, you can get connection better. So everyone goes, oh, I don't want all these tariffs and all these things, so they do good things and change things to get lower tariffs. Well, this is a similar thing. Right? And to do that, what I believe would help so we can have more connection is to have all the world leaders, right, to have a person from most world countries, right? So the most top 10 countries that people believe that are running the best or so, something like that, you could have one of each of them countries as a media representative, right, for each leader. So what they do is they hang around all the time, right, to see what these leaders do and how they are all the time. And if they go to a nuclear facility, they don't have to be in every single area, but at least they can go to the facility, be outside the facility, be outside this, be outside that, and then they can get commentary and updates and stuff like that, perhaps even just watch videos. They don't even have to talk to people. The leaders can wear certain videos, and if they've got something to say about it, they can talk about it later on as another question to help other countries know what's going on. Just a quick rundown of practically what you could do to get some sort of communication better line. And so every country's involved and we don't have too much propaganda. And those countries should all be making sure that they've all got the right thing that they're speaking about. And then these media people or representatives can talk with amongst each other as well of what they believe with their own opinions and their laws of what they believe is happening or what kind of advice could they give after they've sent out the information, and then countries get back to them about what they should do when certain things happen. You know, stuff like that. It just helps keep communication. And the best way to keep communication is to allow the world to know who you are instead of just every couple of hours of who you are footages and every few years, right? When you're a big leader and you've got all these things, definitely for people who's got these, for countries who've got a lot of problems where people don't believe, well, that'd be the best way to solve it. So if I was a person in a country and I had to fix it, say I'm a person in a bad country and I had to fix it, and I was got to take over that country, I would say the best way to fix that country, definitely if the world sees it bad, is to do something like that. I'd maybe come over, stay in my area, I'd pay for it all, right? The countries pay for this kind of stuff when it comes to them, and if every country does it, it'll all add up the costs, you know what I mean? But usually the country will pay for that to help show that they're willing to change and connect and things like that. Anyway, and it'll also, if they pay, it'll also show how that country treats people as well. Actually, now I'm thinking of it, perhaps they shouldn't be paid, actually, because payment is a good thing, but also in the end, it's a bad thing when it comes to trying to get truth. So these people have to be paid in a certain way where corruption can't be sent in through payment. So I nearly did the wrong thing there by saying paying them extra, because that's actually what's already been happening. It'd be good to pay extra, wouldn't it, to get back to saying things like that? But sometimes I think paying them extra should come out in another way of perhaps if they do a good job and the country thrives by the connections that they're having, perhaps they can get bonus pays and stuff like that, that you can get something in where they can get rewarded for doing a good job. Because when it comes to the basics and the connection in that area, I believe that's should be well paid in there. You know what I mean? But also not paid too much where they've stopped doing their job properly. So have a good one and see you later. And perhaps when you start to see things in that area, when things aren't going right, perhaps you can pay more. And then when things aren't going right, that's when you lose pay because things are fucking up. But anyway, don't want to go on about pay all the time, but people do talk about the money bags. And see you later.